As you get deeper and deeper into breeding fish, you cannot avoid culturing your own foods. Not only are they easy to do, they're super healthy for your fish, and a lot of the time they're free. So today, I'm trying something a little bit different and setting up a worm farm. There's a species of worm called a red wiggler or red wriggler, I'm not sure. That is really good, high fat content, perfect for conditioning your fish for a spawn. That's my plan for these gudgeons and any other of the larger species of fish that I'm trying to breed in this fish room. It's a good competitive edge to be culturing your live food. So this is how to set up a worm farm. I know next to nothing about starting things like this, so I'm basically gonna read a tutorial, watch a few YouTube videos, and build this out the perfect way. The one thing I'm not gonna do is go and get dirt from my garden and put it in here. The reason I'm building a farm is to reduce the risk of pathogens and other bacteria that can harm my fish.
1 lid, 2 working trays, 1 collector tray.
So is worm farming worth it for someone who's trying to breed fish? Some people might say no, but for me, I look at the cost of setting up, how easy it is to keep going. Like you just feed it scraps once a week, which you would have just thrown in the bin anyway. You just chop it up and then once a week, toss it in, add double the amount of bedding that you have scraps. And that's literally it. They reproduce themselves. There's quite a lot. They're consistent, they're fatty, and they're universally accepted by fish. I believe that's a no-brainer. Water time. The way I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna establish that bottom tray, and I'm gonna use whatever methods I possibly can to get it going fast. And then I'm gonna set up a clean tray just above it and another clean tray just above that. That top section will likely be my most harvested section. It will be the least affected by pathogens from the garden. For you, don't even risk it. If it's your sole tier of worms, do not go and get leaf litter from the garden. Just get some food scraps, leave them in there and leave them in there for 1 to 2 weeks. That will attract the microorganisms that start to break down waste in your garden. The reason I say don't do that is because taking things from your garden creates an uncontrolled environment, which means there could be anything that's living out there that you don't want to be with your fish. So if it's a single tier worm farm you're gonna go for, do not add anything from out there. It's much better you keep it clinical. Just go with cocoa coir, whatever. Just go with that coconut psyllium stuff and keep it super clean. It may make it more difficult to establish a good colony, but at least you know it's clean.
Now I'm out in the garden collecting a bunch of leaf litter. This is where the worms usually live. So get them some stuff to sort of start them off. You can't add worms right away is what I've been learning. So I'm gonna get this place ready by getting as much of this stuff that I possibly can in one layer over the top of what I've just put in. I'll show you guys exactly what to do after that.
The reason I'm using leaf litter is I'm grabbing it from the garden and putting it in this. That means all of that microorganisms are already there, which boosts the speed that these worms are gonna start growing.
Now it's time to add our bedding on top of our covered section of cardboard. So without trying to make a massive mess, I'm gonna add it all. Now we're gonna smooth this out. It's meant to be like a 4 to 6 inch layer of bedding, but we'll just tell everyone it's 6, fine. Now it's time for the leaf litter. There we go, one big clump. Smooth it out so it creates another layer on top, and then we're gonna cover it.
And next, get yourself a bag of worms. I just can't comprehend how there's 2,000 worms in this bag right here. What I'm gonna do to seed this worm farm is I'm actually gonna keep in the original breeder's bedding in this worm farm, and then I'm gonna get 2 extra trays on top, and they're going to be my clean worm trays. So that means that I'm able to have more control over keeping my worms clean, and I don't have to sacrifice the original slow growth phase. I can just add this, give it a big boost, and then when I want to harvest some worms, I put them on the next tray up, let them live there for a little while, and the next tray up, let them live there, and then when I wanna harvest those worms for feeding, I do the purge, which I'll show you guys in a second. And now I'm gonna put my leaf litter, or the stuff that I had on top before I peeled all that away. I'm gonna put it all back on now. This is just to cover them up. Now you're meant to leave a really bright light right above them as well. That forces them to run down. And then now you either wait a whole day, or you can just go right ahead and add some form of scraps on top. But because I've got this, I think that'll definitely keep them going for at least 2 days. I'm just gonna leave that there and then in a couple days, I'll start feeding. And apparently a worm farm of this size with 3 trays can recycle 8 kilos of food waste per week. Now, purging your worms is one of the most important parts of keeping your whole system clean. So, a clean bucket of bedding. Very, very, very important. You don't want any contaminants in that bucket. That is purely just cocoa coir or quar or however you say it. And then you get your worms, and these guys are in the dirty dirt, basically. You just want to clean off as much as you can so that they're not that covered. These guys' digestive systems are going to be totally full of food waste, basically. So we want to clean them off like that. Once they're relatively cleaned off, we're going to put them in the clean bedding, leave them for a day, 2 if you are lazy, but I just leave for 24 hours. Cover it up, make sure they're moist, otherwise they just dry out into literally nothingness. I've done that before. And then feeding time.
Oh, yep, okay, that didn't work.
There aren't many things in this hobby that get cheaper and cheaper over time and end up saving you money. This is one of them. So if you haven't already, adopt it. Now I'm curious, have you ever cultured live foods before? And have you ever cultured something weird to feed to your fish? Let me know in the comments section, because I'm constantly learning new things in this hobby. I need to know how to add new cultures to my fish room, quirky, weird things that just seem to work. If you have any secrets that you're sitting on, let me know in the comments section. And as always, hit the subscribe button for more tutorial videos that keep you close to your aquarium hobby. See you on the next one.